Hello, good morning students. I'm Pradeep Hirapure and today I'm going to deliver my lecture on the topic bacterial endospore, bacterial flagella and fimbriae, capsule and slime layer. So one by one we're going to discuss in this lecture. So first of all I would like to explain you the bacterial endospore, in which we can discuss the definition of endospore, structure of bacterial endospore, how the bacterial endospore form inside the bacterial cell, and in a favorable condition how the bacterial endospore will germinate. So dear students, you know very well each and every bacterial cell mm, having its own specialized structure, but out of which some bacterial cell having ability to develop the endospore, or we can say the bacteria having ability, some bacteria having ability to develop the spore in unfavorable condition. So why the bacteria developed the endospore? So whenever the unfavorable conditions comes, means you know very well our climatic conditions and environmental changes going on day by day and time to time, and in some time the situation is there is a scarcity of nutrition, scarcity of carbon, nitrogen and phosphorus, and unfavorable temperature or chemical factors. So in these situations the chemical or physical factor is not suitable for the bacterial survival or bacterial cell division. That condition known as a unfavorable condition for bacteria. In this type of unfavorable conditions, the bacteria want to survive itself, but in a dormant form, in a metabolically inactive form, and for that purpose the bacteria able to develop the spore inside the bacterial cell, and that structure, that dormant structure known as a bacterial endospore. Basically dear students, bacterial endospore or bacterial spore classify into the two types. One is a endospore and other is a exospore. So what is actually the endospore? You can see on the slide here. Now this one is the bacterial this one is the bacterial cell, and inside the bacterial cell you can observe here this one is the endospore, a specialized dormant structure developed by this bacterial cell inside the bacterial cell. So such type of endospore if formed inside the bacterial cell, that endospore, that spore known as a endospore. Okay, and some bacterial species having ability to develop the endospore outside the bacterial cell. You can see here this one is the this one is the spore developed by this bacterial cell, and totally it is outside from the bacterial cell, and it is called as a exospore. So this spore developed by the bacteria, which is a dormant state, and this structure is very rigid and resistance against the various chemical as well as the physical factor like temperature, acid, or any other drugs unable to penetrate inside the endospore, because it is very compact in structure. So when we talking about the morphology of the bacterial endospore, so it may be oval or ellipsoid or spherical in shape. It may occupy a central or terminal or terminal positions. You can see here this one is the terminals positions, okay, or subcentral positions. Some bacteria able to develop the endospore at subcentrally, and this main ecological role of endospore appears to be survival in a dry or unfavorable state, in which the nutrition scarcity or the temperature is not suitable for the cellular survival. Now when we going to discuss about the ultrastructure of the endospore, you can see here this one is the ultrastructure. When we cut the transverse section of the endospore, so we observed that this type of structure, ultrastructure under the microscope, and you can see this is the cytoplasm, or this is the core region of the endospore, in which the fluid is there and all the genetic material and all the essential chemicals and enzymes is there. And this core region of the endospore actually is present in central location of this endospore, and this core region is surrounded by the thin membranous structure, and that membrane structure known as a inner membrane. So you know very well, this core structure consists of DNA, RNA, protein, and dipocolinic acid, calcium ion, as well as some essential enzymes also there. And this core region of endospore surrounded by the first layer, that is the inner layer. That inner layer made up of lipid and protein. And you can see here just outside the inner layer there is one more layer, and somewhat thick than the inner layer, and that is called as a germ cell wall. And the germ cell wall made up of the peptidoglycan, and outside the outside the germ cell wall there is the very thick layer is there, and this thick layer known as a cortex. Okay, and this cortex is made up of the modified peptidoglycan, and this cortex again surrounded by the thin membranous structure, and that membrane structure known as a outer membrane of endospore, and which is made up of the lipid and protein. Okay, and just outer membrane of core region there is one another membranous structure, and that is a inner spore coat. Okay, so you can see here this one is the inner spore coat, and which is made up of the protein, and this one is the outer spore coat, that is also made up of protein. Okay, and just outside the outer spore coat there is a very thick covering of endospore, and this outside the thick covering there is one another layer is there, that is a exosporium, which is also made up of the protein. But not each and every endosporic bacteria able to produce the this outermost exosporium structure, but some bacterial species able to develop the exosporium structure, but in some bacterial species this exosporium structure is not there. Okay, so this is all about the structure of bacterial endospore. Now we are going to discuss about how the bacterial endospore develop inside the bacterial cell. So we can see the how bacterial endospore form inside the bacterial cell. So on this slide you can see this one is the bacterial cell, and whenever this bacterial cell facing the unfavorable condition, at that time this bacterial cell want to develop the endospore inside the bacterial cell. Okay, so this initiation of endospore known as a sporulation. Okay, it is also known as a sporulation, or we can say the development of endospore. So in initial stage the genetic material of that bacterial cell replicate itself and produce the two copies, and you can see here this genetic material located at central position, but this after DNA replication the genetic material align axially. Okay, and after that in the second stage the axial chromatin material separated start to separate with the help of invagination of plasma membrane. So this plasma membrane start to invaginate centripetally, And you can see here in this diagram, the whenever the invagination completed, so the single bacterial cytoplasms converted into the two compartment. This one is the mother cell, this original compartment known as a mother cell, and this one is the circular somewhat compartment known as a pre-endospore, or we can say the pore spore. Okay. And after that, you can see here in this stage number 3, the mother cell start to engulf the pore spore. So this structure should be start to engulfed by this mother cell. So for the engulfing purpose, this mother cell want to surround itself around the pore spore. Okay. And you can see here there is a this outer layer originated from the mother cell, and this inner layer of the first compartment are pore spores, pore spore layer. Okay. So there is a double membranous structure actually formed within this bacterial cell, and simultaneously whatever the genetic material of a mother cell start to disintegrate, and this chromosomal DNA here disintegrate and continuously, and the cortical region actually developed inside the this double layer structure. And you can see this is the stage number 6, in which dipliconic acid is synthesized and calcium is incorporated into the spore coat. And this is the exosporium development. So this bacteria able to synthesize the exosporium structure around the endospore. And you can see this one is the spore coat, dark black color spore coat, which is very compact in nature. And you can see in the stage the mother cell release the spore, and in this way the total bacterial endospore actually develop inside the bacterial cell. So this is all about the how bacterial endospore actually form in a unfavorable condition. Now dear students, I would like to explain you whenever the favorable conditions come again, how bacterial endospore start to germinate. So basically this bacterial endospore germinations completed in a 3 step: activations, initiation, and outgrowth. Okay. So first step is activations, but not all the endospore spontaneously start to germinate, but some bacterial endospore spontaneously start to germinate. But such type of endospore which is not spontaneously able to germinate, there is a need of first step, that is activation. And these activations of endospore in which the bacterial spore are remain in dormant condition, and that's why there is a necessary to activate the endospore for germinations purpose. In activation of spore, we can use some physical and chemical agent. It may be the temperature, or it may be the specialized acidic chemical to promote the spore germinations, like alteration of pH, or alteration of heat, or aqueous fluid, or sulfur containing groups, sulfur containing compounds, or L-alanine, or adenosine, glucose, or reducing agents used for this bacterial endospore activation. So more commonly we use heat shock or heat activations for the endospore activations. And in about treatment, the heating of spore is in aqueous fluid for about 15 to 16 minutes at 65 degrees Celsius temperature, and result in the activation of most spore. Higher temperature about 105 to 120 degrees Celsius are required for the thermophilic bacteria or thermophilic spore. After the activation, then there is a second step, that is initiation. And in this step, once your endospore activated, the spore will be initiate germination, and if the environmental condition are favorable, and different species have evolved a receptor recognize different effector as a signal a rich medium, and binding of effector activate and autolysine that rapidly degrade the cortical region of endospore, which is made up of the peptidoglycan, and water is start to uptake by this endosporic material, and calcium diplolinate is released, and a variety of spore constituent are degraded by the hydrolytic enzymes, and some chemical also used for the germination of activated spore included L-alanine, ribosides, adenoside, inosine, potassium nitrate, glucose, and various inorganic ions. Some nutrients also required for the germinations of endospore, like phosphorus, nitrogen, sulfur, carbon, and energy, chemical energy like ATP. Some enzymes are also play an important role in the germination process, called as a germinating enzymes. And after the germination initiation, then there is a outgrowth stage, and in outgrowth stage, the degradation of cortical region of endospore and outer layer result in the emergence of new vegetative cell vegetative structures from the endospore protoplast, and which is surrounded by the cell wall. Okay, and a period of active biosynthesis follows. The period which terminates in the cell division is called as outgrowth. Outgrowth period of outgrowth, nothing but the emergence of vegetative cells, and it convert into the bacterial cell, and when that bacterial cell or vegetative cell reproduce itself or divide into the daughter cell, at which we can say the co-termination of this outgrowth rate. And outgrowth require a supply of nutrient essential for the cell growth. So in this stage also the bacterial endospore required the nutrients which is essential for the cell growth or cell division. And after the post germinating or outgrowth occur only in the presence of proper and favorable conditions, and amino acids, specifically the glutamic acid, are essential for the outgrowth. There is no outgrowth where starvation medium or germinations or growth inhibitor factors. You can see here on the slide, this one is the bacterial endospore, and this is the core region of that endospore. By using the physical or chemical factor, we try to activate this endospore. After the activations, there is a stage 1. In stage 1 there is a DPA release and Ca2 positive ion also release, and the resistance of this endospore structure start to loss, and here completely lost the resistance or compactness of this endospore, and the water as well as the nutrients start to penetrate inside the endospore, or we can say the water and nutrients start to uptake by this structure endospore. And after that, this vegetative cell or vegetative structures from this core regions start to emerge out, and this is actually the endospore germination. Now dear students, I would like to explain you another structure of bacteria, and that is a capsule and slime layer. So dear student, many bacterial cells secrete some extracellular material in the form of capsule or a slime layer. A slime layer is loosely associated with the bacteria and can be easily washed off, or whereas capsule is attached tightly to the bacterium and has definite boundary. So you can see in this diagrammatic representations, this one is the sticky protective structure, which is a slime layer, and you can see here this one is the very loose structures around the bacterial cell. This one is the bacterial cell wall, and outside the bacterial cell wall we can see here the structure which is very loose, and this loose structures made up of the sugar network, and this structure easily can remove by washing, and it is somewhat sticky, and this structure known as a slime layer. But when we compare this structure with the capsule, so you can see here this totally this bacterial cell covered with the definite and rigid structure, and it is look like a coat of a bacterial cell. Okay, and this is actual difference in between the slime layer and bacterial capsule. So this capsule is very rigid as compared to the slime layer. Slime layer is very loosely network of sugar molecules around the bacterial cell wall. So this is very tight and very compact structure that is known as a capsule. This lime layer actually prevent the drying out and nutrition loss of bacteria, and it help to stick to the surface, because this slime layer sticky in nature, and that's why with the help of slime layer this bacterial cell can stick to the surface. And when we're talking about the functions of capsule, so it is act as a molecular sieving and protection against from the viruses, means due to the presence of this capsule around the bacterial cell wall, the no one virus can penetrate inside the bacterial cell. Okay, and it is also play an important role in adherence as well as immune invagination. When we try to compare this two structure of bacteria, capsule and slime layer, so you can see here the capsule is a glycocalyx layer consisting of firmly associated polysaccharide molecule with the cell wall. So bacterial cell wall के ऊपर में जो एक कॉम्पैक्ट एंड रिजिड स्ट्रक्चर तैयार होता है उसको वो अपन कैप्सूल बोलते हैं, जो कि ग्लाइकोकैलिक्स लेयर होती है. ओके, और पॉलीसैकेराइड से बनी हुई होती है. बट इन ऑन अदर हैंड स्लाइम लेयर इज ग्लाइकोकैलिक्स लेयर्स दैट कंसिस्ट ऑफ लूजली एसोसिएटेड ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन्स मॉलिक्यूल. ओके, सो ये पॉलीसैकेराइड से बना हुआ रहता है, कॉम्पैक्ट रहता है, ये लूज रहता है और ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन मॉलिक्यूल से बना हुआ रहता है. ओके, your capsule composed of polysaccharides, but slime layer composed of extra polysaccharides, exopolysaccharide, and glycoproteins as well as the glycolipids also. So these two molecules are absent in capsule. Okay, and your capsule thicker than the slime layer, and this slime layer is thin in nature. This capsule tightly bound to the cell wall, and this lime layer is loosely bound to the cell wall. Your capsule well organized layer, difficult to wash off, but this slime layer easily wash off with the water, and this capsule act as a virulence factor that help to evade the phagocytosis. Means what? Means the capsule containing bacteria whenever enter in our body, so that bacteria trapped by our macrophages and start to phagocytes, but this bacteria resists the phagocytosis process because of द प्रेजेंस ऑफ कैप्सूल. ओके, सो कैप्सूल होने के वजह से ये बैक्टीरिया को फैगोसाइट्स साइटोसिस प्रोसेस नहीं हो पाती, इसके ऊपर इसको डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं कर पाती मैक्रोफेजेस. ओके, सो ड्यू टू द प्रेजेंस ऑफ कैप्सूल योर बैक्टीरिया रेजिस्ट द फैगोसाइटोसिस प्रोसेस एंड दैट्स वाई इसका जो पैथोजेनेसिटी जो है वो इंक्रीज होती है. इसीलिए उसको बोला है कि कैप्सूल एक्ट एज ए वायरुलेंस फैक्टर. ओके, मीन्स दिस इज कॉजिक कैपेसिटी जो है इसकी ज़्यादा होती है एज कंपेयर टू द स्लाइम लेयर कंटेनिंग बैक्टीरिया. ओके, एंड व्हेन वी टॉकिंग अबाउट द स्लाइम लेयर, सो मेनली एड इन द एडहेरेंस. ये जस्ट सरफेस को अधेर होने के लिए काम में आता है. ऑल्सो प्रोटेक्ट्स द सेल फ्रॉम डिहाइड्रेशन एंड न्यूट्रिशन लॉस. मीन्स ट्रांसपिरेशन के वजह से जैसा लीव्स से वाटर इवेपोरेट हो जाता है, वैसे बैक्टीरियल सेल से भी वाटर एंड न्यूट्रिएंट लॉस नहीं होना चाहिए. ये काम अपना स्लाइम लेयर करता है क्योंकि सेल वॉल के ऊपर में वो लूजली अडजर होता है. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द कैप्सूल एंड स्लाइम लेयर. Now dear students, I would like to explain you the bacterial structure, one more bacterial structure, that is a flagella. And you know very well, in a practical already we've seen there is so many different types of bacteria which having ability to move from one place to the another place, and the movement or motion or motility of the bacteria just occur because of the presence of flagella. That's why that flagella structure known as a locomotory organ of bacterial cell. So in a singular form, the flagella known as a flagellum, and it is a hair-like helical structure and emerge from the cell wall and cell membrane. You can see this flagella emerge from the cell wall. Okay, so this one is the plasma membrane of bacterial cell and this one is this outer membrane, that is cell wall. So from the cell membrane it is emerged out. Okay, so flagella actually emerge out from the cell membrane or from the cytoplasm, we can say. Okay, and it is responsible for the motility of bacteria, and it is ranging from 15 to 20 nanometer in diameter. इसकी जो diameter होती है 15 to 20 nanometer होती है. And a single flagella can be seen with a light microscope only after staining with a special stain which is increase the diameter of flagella. Okay, and flagella is not a straight बट इट इज़ हेलिकल. यह कभी भी स्ट्रेट नहीं होता है, हेलिकल फॉर्म में होता है. एंड इट इज़ कंपोज्ड ऑफ फ्लैजेलिन प्रोटीन. ये इट इज़ मेड अप ऑफ द फ्लैजेलिन प्रोटीन विच इज़ अ ग्लोबुलर प्रोटीन एंड नोन एज ए एच एंटीजन. ओके, इसी को जो फ्लैजेलर प्रोटीन होती है जिससे ये फ्लैजेला बना हुआ रहता है, उस फ्लैजेलर प्रोटीन को ही अपन एच एंटीजन बोलते हैं. Flagella has three part basically. The basal body, you can see here, this one is the basal body, and hook region, this one is the hook, and there is a filament, means after the hook there is one another structure, that is filament. Okay, so in a basal body, this basal structure or basal body, it is composed of central rod inserted into the series of inserted into the series of rings which is attached to the cytoplasmic membrane and cell wall. So these are the different rings. You can see the L ring, P ring, and this one is also the SM ring. So there is a three different rings is there, and this rings is located in the cytoplasmic membrane as well as the outer membrane, means in the cell walls. Okay, so this L ring, it is outer ring present only in a gram negative bacteria, and it anchored in the lipopolysaccharide layer. And when we're talking about the P ring, so this P ring, it is second ring anchored in the peptidoglycan layer of cell wall, and this MS ring anchored in cytoplasmic membrane. And hook, when we're talking about the another structure, that is a hook, it is a wider region at the base of filament, and it contains filament to the motor protein in the base, and length of hook is longer in gram positive bacteria than the gram negative bacteria. And this one is the filament. It is a thin hair like structure arise from the hook. Okay. Now you can see here the arrangement of flagella. So if one flagella is there at one end, that is a monotrichous. There is a two flagella at two ends, that is the amphitrichous, and more than one flagella is there at one end, that is a locotrichous, and all around the cell wall there is a flagella, that is a peritrichous. Okay. And you can see here, this one is the typical bacterial structures, and typical bacterial structure.
पार्सल आलाय, कोणी बोलवलं तर का बोलवलं
ते घेऊन घे पटकन. माझ्या याच्यात पैसे असतील ते पाहणार.
किती की काय बोलवलंय, पण काय बोलवलंय?
मला कंटिन्यू आहे, मी बोलतो मग. So dear students, sorry for break. So we're talking about the arrangement of flagella. If one flagella is there, that is a monotrichous. In amphitrichous there is a two flagella at two ends, and the lopotrichous means the multiple flagella at one end, and the peritrichous means all over the body there is a flagella. Okay. And this one is the typical structures. You can see this is the bacteria, and this bacteria having the very hair like structure, that is a flagella. Okay. So this is actually the flagella, and one another structure means hair like structure is there, very teeny fiber like structure, that is called as fimbriae. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the difference in between the flagella and fimbriae. So when we try to compare the flagella and fimbriae, so the flagella is very large in size, and it is thicker as compared to the fimbriae, and fimbriae is very smaller in size and thinner in nature. As well as flagella arises from the cytoplasm or cytoplasmic membrane, but not attached to the cell wall, and fimbriae actually attached to the cell wall only. It is not emerged from the cytoplasm or cell membrane. And flagella is act as a locomotory organ, which is used for the movement from one place to the another place, and fimbriae act as a organ for adhesion or conjugation. It is not used for the locomotion. And flagella, they are never straight. It is a helical in structure, and the fimbriae always looked like straight. And flagella no required for conjugation, but for the conjugation, bacterial conjugation process, fimbriae is required. So this is actually the difference in between flagella and fimbriae, and we completed all these points of today's lecture. Thank you.